Welcome to another episode of Guitars. No, this is DIO doing it ourselves. And when we installed this guitar rack, there is a shower right there. We did not realize that we could have went through a water line. And I'm assuming we had like a little pin prick when we screwed one of these screws in there. So most likely we're going to have to take this whole bookshelf down and everything, and that rack and that wall to see what's behind. Now there was no immediate sign, and it was like weeks later, and then we got a little bit of a mold forming. I sort of assumed that the kids, because every time they took a shower in there, they flooded the whole floor, the walls, and everything. So you end up having 2 or 3 showers a night where the walls and everything were just soaking wet because the kids, play with their toys, they throw water everywhere, they splash it everywhere. So I made the kids start going to our shower. When that wall never dried up, I realized the only problem, unless we got a random leak, is that there's probably a water line in somewhere there where we put screws in. Now, it just was so slow of a drip that most likely we just never would have heard it or seen it. That's why it took like weeks before we seen this, sign of it. But I had to go turn the water off because it's possible that when we unscrew one of these screws here, it might just bust that line out and just squirt water everywhere. So over time, it started going down to the floor a little bit in this music room, but we really didn't have time to try to work on it, knowing that if we exposed some big problem here and made it worse, and we didn't have time, or the department stores, plumbing stores, hardware stores were closed or something, knowing we could potentially be going to a hardware store 2 or 3 times, if we don't have the right pieces and parts, and if we try something and it doesn't work. So we are finally, hopefully, we're on a Wednesday, so we have a few days here. Hopefully Friday we're busy, but today, tomorrow, hopefully we can get this guy fixed. Hopefully today. But I think the first thing we need to do is to unload this bookshelf. We got the tablature books from the top. And anyway, another reason why we haven't been in a super hurry to fix this is because we have to rebuild the bathroom anyway. We're going to be painting, probably putting an exhaust fan, redo all the shower or bathroom, what do you call it, the curtain or whatever you call it, all the paneling, 2x4s, sealing it up, and we need to get a vanity as well. We already have a new faucet. Like that, we're off the wall. We got it right here on the floor. Not sure if it's going to stay there, if we need to move it out of our way. But now we have access. I had a look of it. It would have been up there where where we would have put a screw in, but there's no way a screw would have went in there. This is pretty deep. But I did this part here. It was loose. I wonder if we could just tighten that up. But we need to kind of see some kind of leak there. I can tell that this is soaking wet. Is it a leak from the tub causing that? Like something broke on the tub? Or is it this actual, you can kind of see some mineralization on this where you don't see it on these other two. So that is where the actual shower part is. Well, that tells me that I didn't cause the leak, but maybe it was just time where it, just banging or drilling into the wall, vibrating it or something might have just made this thing go loose. But we need to figure it out, like I said, 100% what's causing it. So we have to probably turn the water back on and check this. I turned the water back on, and like I said, this is kind of, I'm showing you just up close here. So we screwed screws here. That mount for that guitar is about right here. And then screwed screws on this corner here. And I thought maybe the lines were just close. But look at that recess. There's like a 3-inch or more recess right here. There's like a 2x3, two 2x3s. I'm assuming it's only when the shower is on when that was leaking. And I did mess with this, so we're probably not going to see any water, kind of watered. It looks wet right there. Unless that was just already there. Actually, there is definitely some water right here. This might have just fooled us, you know, this mineralization right here. Let me tighten this up anyway. Tighten these all up. But yeah, it feels like this. I'm assuming that's the cold water line. Not sure. That's got water on it. So I've been kind of drying this area. I've tried to tighten this because this is like a thumb screw tightener. And we're gonna just check it out. See if any more water beads up here. I had this little post or whatever. And see what happens. Could have been, you know, this was loose. This could have had a little bit of a leak. And that right there just got old or something too. There doesn't seem to be any beading of the, I guess that's the hot water line there. All right, I'm turning the shower on and we're gonna check. Well, definitely a leak at that shower head. So when we turn it on, look at that. So there could have been a small leak here and here. Well, I think I got this one fixed, but I'm definitely seeing a little drip come down from here. So this supply line is still leaking, and it's probably going to leak whether the shower's on or not. But we did get this one fixed, and that might just be worn out. We may not be able to tighten it anymore. Really get this cold water supply line to turn. We ended up, you know, kind of moving the copper with it, and it finally kind of got a grip. But we're going to just have to look at it for a few hours and see if it, you know, drips down or beads up or anything. Got to get it kind of dry again. Keep the wall open so it dries out a little bit faster. They really put this electrical supply line in the wrong spot, didn't they? All right, so it's been an hour or more and there was no new drips there. So it's still wet from where it's been just dripping for, you know, weeks or whatever. But there's no new moisture like building up on that board there. Anyway, all right, now we have the shower on and still no new leaks happening. This is where it would be. This is the shower one, and we screwed it down pretty good, 3 or 4 turns, so hopefully it fixed it. And I don't see anything, so we're going to bring a dehumidifier in here to try to dry this up before we put the wall back up. All right, we got the dehumidifier on probably all night. While we're waiting for that to dehumidify and get all that water out, and I'm not sure if it's going to be just 1 bucket or 2 buckets over, you know, 24, 48 hour period or what. I just come outside for a few minutes. You guys may be wondering why we didn't just finish that music room when we started a few months ago. And I guess that is one of the reasons, of probably many. We were also kind of rushing through season 2 of our garden vlog and trying our best to finish off the season and actually have some progress while we were doing it. You know, I felt like that summer drought we had just pushed us back with the garden vlog so much, and we had to kind of play catch up. You know, we lost 12 roses. We finally ended up getting our money back for 6 of them. So we lost $300 worth of roses, and we got about 148, 150 back. So half of the money. The other ones were from nurseries and stuff that did not really accept refunds or exchanges. Now, don't get me wrong, we still are out in the garden pretty much every day. It just, you know, ending the season just allows us to not have to worry about intentionally forcing ourselves to come out and film and talk and do something, you know, that when there may not be that much being productive at this time of the year. There's not really much to do, in other words. Another reason we haven't really worked on the guitar or music room is because we divert finances, you know, based on what we're doing and need to do. And, you know, we did that tequila journey season 1, which there may or may not be a season 2. That was kind of exciting, you know, for a short term. And then, you know, this will hopefully allow us to do more of the DIO doing it ourselves projects. And we got a bunch of them for the house that we need to work on. We could probably easily spend $500 a month on the gardening, you know, stuff, but then there's no money for other fun things or things that we need to do, like, you know, home repairs and stuff like that. And will we get the music room done before 2025? That's a bit iffy. I don't know. Will we do anything else in it? I don't know, you know, but so it could still be several months away before we sort of finish it up. For the most part, we mainly just need to clean the last few things out of the room. Some of the things are big, and maybe put up some more shelves or something. I'm not sure how many or how many we need of the guitar mounts and stuff, but and then just figure out how we're going to arrange the actual room and amplifiers and everything like that. You know, sort of another reason why we haven't worked too much on these things is, you know, I pushed my body to the limit this season with the gardening. You know, I was out there doing that sort of banana circle mini, you know, digging in the ground when I shouldn't have been. I was having gout flare-ups, and I got like a major toe infection from, you know, it didn't just occur, you know, I had like an accident where I hurt my toe and jammed the toenail actually into like the toe bud or whatever you call it. Never did that before. I've had things that just dropped on my toe before, and, you know, a couple months later my toenail would fall off. But in this instance, where the bud is, the toenail's kind of raised up, and the front part of the toenail might actually be in good condition, so it might be a really long time for it to push another toenail out before it drops. Hopefully the whole thing will drop sooner rather than later, though. But just walking and working and doing anything like that's really, I'm a little bit painful, but I'm more just slow and more aware of that thing. And the kids have stepped on it. Cats have jumped on it with their, you know, nails out, so not fun. But hopefully soon I can be back to 100% and start doing things, you know, a little bit more physical stuff, and start providing you guys with some videos other than gardening, although I'm sure season 3 of the garden vlog will come back fairly soon. Alright, so we've had this thing running overnight. It's going between 45 and 50% humidity, which is probably like that throughout the whole house anyway. Well, guys, I think this is probably going to be a 2-part episode, and we kind of need to offload these files as we're working on other stuff as well. And hopefully in part 2, because it's going to take probably several days or a week or so to really dry out that wall with the dehumidifier, hopefully in part 2 we'll be putting that wall back up. Everything hopefully will be dry. We didn't realize there was 2 issues that were causing these leaks. You know, there were 2 different fittings or whatever, and yeah, I mean, it's that larger leak is most likely what caused the majority of the problems when the shower was running. But there was still a tiny drip. You know, it might have only dripped once every 30 seconds or 2 minutes or something like that. But, you know, everything is going to cause some sort of water damage over time. And I still don't trust, you know, tightening that up as a permanent solution. But as we said, we're going to be redoing the bathroom anyway. All those, you know, fittings and stuff are going to be taken out and replaced. Sorry, hard to concentrate and talk when I got him going saying, look up there, there's that. Right, Spider-Man? Alright, so that's it for part 1. Hopefully we'll be putting that wall back on and getting the guitars and all hung up on part 2, and hopefully we'll be finished until we start doing the bathroom renovations.